Hi, ciao YouTube. Here's the question. So, Ilya, 25 years old, says, we liked each other very much. There were many common interests. On the first date, I wanted to hug and kiss her, but it turned out that she smells unpleasant. I could hardly stand it for 2 hours. How can I tactfully tell her about it? Tactfully. So he wants to tell her tactfully about this issue. He says that they liked each other and they found common ground, common topics. Which is always a nice thing, to find. And on the first date, even on the first date, he wanted to hug and kiss her. I guess the best moment to do it while you are at the end of the date, when you are kind of separating from each other, and you're trying to say goodbye, and it's a classic, that's where you go for the kiss and for the hug. It's basically less anxious to make a move at that particular moment. Less chance to be rejected or to have like kind of some type of reaction, that you don't wanna get. But also he says that he could hardly stand it for 2 hours. I mean, being with this girl, conversating. So on one hand, this unpleasant aroma that he was experiencing coming from her, in his mind was unpleasant basically, but we don't know what was it. But he found it as unpleasant. So he said that he could hardly stand it for 2 hours. So man, good for you that you didn't run from the beginning, and you gave this relationship. There is no relationship yet, but this girl, you gave her a chance, and while experiencing this unpleasantness, anyway, this guy was having a good time. He says they liked each other very much. So he liked her physically first, I guess so, and then he liked her as a person, and they found some common ground, some maybe common values, maybe common topics. It's always nice to find somebody who likes what you like, or who believes in what you believe, or thinks how you think. Kind of synchrony, to experience synchrony in on the first date. It must be pleasant. I can relate to it, and I feel sorry for this guy. You don't find many relations, when you can strike a common ground and have a good time from the get-go, from the first experience with this person. Basically, it's a relational experience that they were going through. But there is a downside that he found out, that he could not connect in the same pleasant way with her odor. And I can relate to it. It resonates with me in a way of remembering a situation from my past. I was working in the office that time, and there was a girl who kind of liked me. She gave me, like, I received some signals. I was receiving some flirting signals, and it's always nice. It's always nice to feel yourself, to feel the attention from outside. It gives, I don't know, it gives me more self-esteem, like a boost of self-esteem. I feel like, first of all, I look good. Yeah, that's how I perceive myself at that moment. That I am in the game. You know what I'm saying? Sure, it's like kind of superficial, you might say, but that's my experience, basically. I hate having no attention, and I think it's a fundamental. It's a fundamental feeling of being under the attention. I mean, there is a other polarities, sure, like way overboard with the attention, and it's not pleasant. But to have like balance, to know that somebody cares for you. I guess it's something very functional. So back to the story, and she first of all, she looked good. For me, first is I mean, very important how to like the other person physically, and then to go further. I mean, that strikes my interest, basically, and I think I am aware of it. And on the other hand, might be a person who might not be very attractive for me, but very interesting nevertheless. So she was very good looking, and but I felt this I felt like her BO body odor was really like pushing me off, pushing me out, however you want to say it. I could not connect with it. I mean, I was connecting with it with some unpleasantness. So I tried a few times, coming like in and out, going in and out into the contact basically. But every time I got the same reaction. I mean, it didn't change. And it might change because there was, I mean, not from the, not on the person-to-person surface, but it's a funny story. Not a funny, but interesting moment that I started, like a few times ago, I started to feed cats outside. Yeah, as a good person am I am. As a kind person I am, yeah. And stray cats. So I would go to the zoo market, zoo shop, and you might know that there is like specific, very specific odor, smell in the zoo market from this dry food, and I really hate it. Not that I hated it, but I just didn't like it. It felt like it smelled unpleasant for me. But with this action of buying it and then feeding the cats, yeah, and you gotta buy it I buy it like once a week. So I don't know what happened. How did I get used to it? Not only used to it, sometimes I would take this bag and just smell it, get a good sniff, hefty sniff, just to get a kick of it. And I mean, that's it. It's changed. It's changed for me. So you never know. I mean, you never know from the first experience how it's gonna go. I mean, you might imagine that you might fantasize that it's not gonna work, and there is some objective or how you say it, objection, or some hurdles, to go over, but you might take a second look, like they say, yeah. Take a second look, check it out once more. But in this case, basically, he says, how can I tactfully tell her about it? About what? About that she smells bad for you? I mean, you don't say it. Yeah, I mean, it's a taboo. Basically, it's a taboo in our society or in these days to talk about smells first, and then we are with this new, not new, but modern life. In this modern life, we're trying to basically to cover up the smells. I mean, cover up our natural body odor, yeah, with all those deodorants and other chemical what is it? Other chemicals, basically. And it's changing. Bit by bit, we are realizing that it's not healthy. Yeah, it's not healthy for our body to artificially cover up all the pores. But we have to do it. We live in society. Yeah, we live in this society. We cannot go on with our body odors, and it's not like it smells pleasant. Sometimes even I am bothered with my own smell. So there might be some people who don't like my odor, yeah. And this is what they call it, a reptilian, reptilian part of our brain that comes from the reptile period, where we unconsciously choose the partner, not only the romantic partner, but for the friendship partner, with the smell, with the taste even. We smell each other, we taste each other, and that works. I need to like the taste of my partner, the taste of physical taste, yeah, and physical smell. So I can relate to this guy who says that he could hardly stand it for 2 hours, and yeah, good for you that you were conversating with it, and I can feel sorry for this guy that basically he got some common interests. He liked this girl, but this reptilian brain just refuses to let this relationship go forward. Yeah, you just cannot overdrive it. You can shut it down. You can shut it down. Shut your cognitive side, I guess. But I don't think that you can shut down the reptilian side of your brain. They say you cannot even have an influence on it. It works by itself. Like fight, flight, and freeze reaction, on the danger. You don't choose it. It just works. But there are people who are overdriving it, man. Like, they're not fighting, they're not flying, they're not freezing, they're acting in different ways. The heroes, the heroes. But here is nothing to be here about. And how can I tactfully tell her about it? You cannot say tactfully. There is no tactful way to say that we are not biologically, how you would say it, in tune. Yeah? I don't know. Even if you say like this, she would ask, what do you mean? What the heck are you talking about? And you gotta explain it. I don't see any tactful way of saying that you have a problem with the BO, body odor, after the first meeting, yeah, after the first date. Okay, let's assume that they didn't know each other, You might say to your friend or the one who like kind of maybe in joking way, or say to your spouse in very careful way, not to hurt a person, when it's a hygienic thing. But here, as I understand, it's not about hygiene. It's about this how you say it, man? Compatibility. It's about this compatibility, So, if we turn this question around, and it might sound like more like this, not how can I tactfully tell her about it. Forget this question, how can you tactfully um, not to break, but how can you tactfully stop the forward going, action. I mean, now the girl, yeah, she felt nice while while I'm being in on the date with this guy, yeah, like he says, they had a good time. You pick up on details. You always feel when, I mean, not always, but when there is like open field, you feel if you like somebody or someone likes you, you feel chemistry that's going on. So that's what he said, that there was a chemistry going on. So that girl might have like further hopes, fantasies that, wow, man, the date went very nice, great. We had connected with each other. We had some common interests, and now you suppose that he will call you back, yeah, to continue the relationship, this new relationship, to build on it, to build on a first date, and culturally, especially in my culture, for example, here in Georgia, in Sakartvelo, girls, women, more in a passive role. The man has an active role. Man has to initiate. Here, women basically don't initiate. They're more into the waiting regime. But it's not about it. So basically, I think in any culture, it's more a man who initiates, yeah. So basically, she might be waiting for him to call. When do you call? When do you text? I don't know, the next day, the day after the next day. You don't text after 1 week, yeah? I mean, it's stupid to wait so much. Why? If you like it, you go on. I go on, basically. I don't know about you. And the question is how tactfully let her know that it's not gonna go on. Yeah, the one way, it's just to not to call her. Yeah, not to call her, not to text her. And most girls, most women, like, I don't know what is the percentage, but most of them will never call you back either. She might wait 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. If there is no, I don't know how did they meet. If they're like a middle man or middle woman between them. But if it's just two strange persons, or they don't work together, it's just a date, with the person you never knew before that, and you have just her number after the first date. I don't know how politically correct it is, but you just wait. You just don't call her. Don't text her. Yeah, there is gonna be an open gestalt for her, like thinking what happened, and that happened to me, and it's not a pleasant experience. It's not a pleasant experience. When I felt that the date went very nice, we had a good time, laughing, having this chemistry, and one date, and after that, I tried to initiate another date, get a refusal once, twice, and then I stop. What else? I'm not gonna stalk a person, or troll her. I tried once, I tried twice after the first date. If there is no reaction, there is no rapport. That's how it's called, yeah? We built rapport on the first day, and they built rapport. That's how it seems that they built rapport. And that's why I don't know, maybe it's not a good idea to try to meet her second time and to check your senses towards her body odor. Maybe you gotta trust your gut. It's like your gut feeling tells you, she's not for you. Yeah, it's what is that word? It's a pity. It's a pity that you built a rapport, but going with your gut feeling in most cases is the way of being of taking less risk. That's how I think about it. It's like your gut feeling, this reptile side of you, always trying to protect you. And I just realize it right now, talking about it, that my cognitive, my fantasies, my dreams are not in line in a lot of times with my gut feeling. For example, now I'm 44 years old. Yeah, you wouldn't think so. Yeah, you would give me like 30. Thank you. It's a compliment. Or I hope so. No, but the bold guy. The boldness is in any age. It's not a taboo. I just like to joke about my boldness. Um, so my desire, like a few years ago, I started to, I really connected. I liked the arm wrestling. Yep, the sports, arm sport, and I really went for it. I went for it so much that I don't know, I had some chronic pains and all this stuff that comes with the sport. So here is my dilemma. My gut feeling says that, come on, bro. It's not healthy for you. It's gonna kill you. It's gonna kill your joints. But the passion, in my case here, comes from my fantasies, from my cognitive that says you can do it. So I'm trying to balance it. Not to ignore my cognitive, not to ignore my thoughts, my passion, and not to ignore my gut feeling. To find that silver lining. And yeah, about ignoring. Maybe it sounds like ignoring, the other person when you don't pick up a phone. But it's not about picking up, from my standpoint. I've had experience when after the first date, went well, and then I get an ignore, and that hurts. Like it leaves like open gestalt, but it's not gonna stay with me for. In my case, it didn't stay for much. Sometimes I even remember now those open gestalts, but it's not like a figure for me. It's like on a background, I have like tons of open gestalts on the background. It's interesting when it comes to forward, when it comes into the figure and becomes a figure and stays there. So the best way that I would try, I don't know. Maybe it's not a good way, but for me it's like a way that I used to act is not directly but indirectly. For example, with some clues, I'm busy. That classic way. Oh, sorry, I'm busy those days. I don't know. I have too much work. I have too much study. When in reality, you have nothing to do. But anyway, you just making excuses. That's the word. Yeah, you make excuse couple of times, and then the other person just gets it. For how long? It's gonna even after first sex. You might feel that you don't want to continue, and there is a dilemma how to discontinue it, in a decent way, not to hurt the other person's feeling first. I don't know, is it first or second, but not to hurt not to put your anxiety high. So back to the question, how can I tactfully tell her about it? There is no way you can tactfully tell her about her smell and that you didn't like it. It's I think the best way is just Just don't call her. I don't know, like 8 from 10 times, she's not gonna call her back. But if this girl if she brave enough and calls you and says, Ilya, what's up, bro? Where you been? Huh? We had such a good time. But that's not how girls talk. That's how we talk. Hey, what's up, girl? We had such a good time. What happened? Huh? Yeah, and she'll start, I'm busy, sorry for this time of my life, I would like to reconsider something, It's not, and the classic one is not about you, it's about me. And it works. Man, it works. We don't need to not invite, but how you call it, man? To make up a new stuff. Inventions. Make some inventions, Go for the bike. Don't invent, not invite. You might invite her or invite him. It's not a problem, Invitation is always pleasant. But the refusal on invitation is freaking... I nearly said an F word, man. It's not good. It's tough to handle. And the subject of rejection is very interesting to me. But that's another theme of another podcast. So that's what it is, man. I don't know. It's not about me answering now to this question. It's more about, I would like to look at it in Gestalt way, kind of chew on it, you know what I'm saying? Because I have no question, I have no answers. While chewing, there is some juice coming out where we can basically, it would have been great if it was a dialogue, but basically it's like, it's a monologue. But even in monologue, while chewing on it, you get some awareness. And I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful to this guy, to Ilya, for his question. And man, I don't know, this shablon sentence, this trust your gut, if you can hear it, because in my case, in most time, the son of a bitch is silent. But if I hear it, I don't want to ignore it, but that son of a bitch speaks so low, man, so low, and this guy speaks so loud. This is a top dog. It's a top dog here, and underdog is that gut feeling. But like in Gestalt, they say underdog always wins, yeah? Not always, but most of the time. So let's try to hear our underdog and not forget about top dog. Kind of like in the case of my dilemma with arm wrestling. I don't want to ignore it. Why would I? I found out something that I enjoy. But like in this case, if I go deep, it's gonna take me into the deep waters, baby. It's gonna take me to the deep water, man. So that's what it is. I want to myself, for my gut feeling to be a little bit louder and my top dog to be a little bit quieter to balance all those voices. So that's it, guys. Yeah. Ciao, YouTube. I hope there is something for the to chew on. Yeah. Ciao.